Morning, children. So here we are with the same topic which we have been discussing in last few videos and live sessions, that is time and temperature. Now the new topic that we are going to do during this video is calculating days and date. Till now we have been doing certain arithmetic operations and calculations on time and in general with the given number of years and months. Now, based on the given dates, we can and elapsed days, we can do calculation of days and date. Children, here I'm presenting you one grid. We just have 31 boxes there, and every box is numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, these can be just a calendar of any month. Okay, it's not specifying any days of the month, sorry, of the week, or neither is it specifying any month of the year. It is just specifying the dates 1 to 31. It's just specifying the dates from 1 to 31. It can be of any month that is having 31 days, or it's specifying dates from 1 to 30, which can be of any month which has got 30 days. Now, children, I just want to tell you, if you look here from 11 to 30, let's do a counting. From 11 to 30, let's do a counting. That is 1 second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So from the date, please listen children, from the date 11, if I count 20 days, I reach to the date 30th. From the date 11, if I count 20 days, I reach the date 30th. Please listen, it's the date I'm talking about. Okay, now, but every time it's not physically possible to pick up a calendar and start counting or to do a counting on your fingers. There should be some mathematical way, some mathematical formula to help you to do such kind of counts, to add the number of days to the number of date, to the given date, and you get the next date, right? So let's see, is that possible? If I count from 11th to 30th, I get 20 days. But observe, if I take 11 plus 20, I get 31 days. If I take 11 plus 20, I get 31 days. Now, this is very different. I reach, will you say that I reached 31st date? No, but just now in the previously you saw you reached 30th date. You did not reach 31 days, right? Now here what is happening is uh, 11 as a number it is taken. Okay, and 20 is taken as a count. So 11 number plus 20 as a count is giving you 31. But physically when we are doing that, when physically we are doing that, we are taking 11th as a day and we start counting from 20. पर जब हम physically कर रहे हैं तो 11 प्लस 20 हो रहा है, यहाँ पर हम इंक्लूड कर रहे हैं। ये जब 11 प्लस 20 कर रहे हैं तो 11 के बाद प्लस 20 डेज हो रहा है और यहाँ पर हम लोग 11th को इंक्लूड कर रहे हैं, तो इसीलिए वहां पर 1 कम आ रहा है, which is the right thing. 11th should be included. यहाँ पर 11 plus 20 में 2 बार हो जा रहा है 11. It should be 10 plus 20. It should not be 11 plus 20. If I take if I want to consider 11th also, 11th as a date, as a day, so I have to take 10 plus 20 and not. So either I'm sorry for keeping a pause. Either I should take 10 plus 20, or if I'm taking 10 plus 20 is equals to 31, you're getting. So remember to subtract 1. Let's see next. Let's see it what I'm trying to tell you. See, every time we cannot do forward counting of numbers physically. I need to have some formula. So if I take the 11th date and plus 20 days to 8, I get 31 as the date, because 11th is being repeated there. After 11th you are adding another 20, जबकि 11th को include हो जाना चाहिए वो 20 days में. So we'll be finishing the date. So 30th, what we are going to do, we are going to subtract 1 from the given date, and I get 30th, that will be the finishing date. Or the other way can be, to avoid 11th being a repetition, I can take 10th instead of 11. I can take 10th because I want to include that 11 in the 20 days. So I can do 10 plus 20 is equals to 30th as the date you will get, which is correct in both the cases. Children, don't get confused. We have got lots of examples to explain this. Either you subtract 1, or either you take one number, one date lower than what is given, because we don't want repetition of that date. ये 11th, ये 20 में 11th भी add हो जा रहा है, और यहाँ पर भी 11th add हो जा रहा है. That's why I'm getting 31. But in this case, I'm not, when I'm taking 10th, that means I'm not adding 11th twice. So remember, for forward counting, you need to subtract 1. Now forward counting is done when I have a starting date and I have a finishing. I have starting date and I have to find the finishing date by adding elapsed number of days. Starting days plus elapsed days, that is the number of days or the number of duration, is equal to the finishing date that we need to find out. Now let's see more example, children. Forward counting is done when I have starting date and have to find finishing date by adding the elapsed date or duration, that is the number of days, is equals to finishing date. Now let's look at one example, that is Arjun started reading a book from 17th July. It took him 14 days to read the book. On which day did he finish reading it? Arjun started reading a book from 17th July. It took him 14 days. On which date did he finish his book? So the details that I'm having with me is the starting date, that is 17th July. Reading time, that is the duration or the elapsed time, days is 14 days. Date on which he finished the book, that is what we have to find out. Again, let's go to my calendar and check there. 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and I reach on 30 after counting 14 days. From 17th, after counting 14 days, I reached 30th. Okay, let's see by doing the formula. Did we get it? Let's check. So 17 plus 14 days, I get 31 days. But just in the previous slide, you checked Just in the previous slide, you checked, you did not get 31 as the date. You got 30th as the date after counting 14 days. So you saw when we did calendar counting, we got 30th as the finishing date. So as I told you, you have to subtract 1. I have to subtract 1 so as to get 30th as the completion of the book. Always remember to subtract 1 while finding out finishing date while doing forward counting with the date and the number of days. Okay, children? Let's see one more example here. It's an important example. It is from your textbook, exercise number 11.4, the B part, page number 201. It is from exercise 11.4, the word problems. It is the first question from that. It's on page number 201. You can open right away and see, children. Anuj joined swimming classes on 15th of May for 45 days. Which date is class on? Anuj joined swimming classes on 15th of May for 45 days. Which date did the class, which date is the last class on? Now children, here it is 45 days. No month has got more than 31 days. So it's obvious he's not going to complete his classes in the May month, and maybe he's not going to maybe he may or may not be completing it in month of June. That is depends on the counting. So we have to consider a few months, and for these kind of questions, we always have to know that which months are having 31 days, which months are having 30 days, and of course, which month is having 28 to 29 days. That is the first priority. Now here we have got the starting date, we have got the duration, and we need to find out the finishing date. But something more is happening here. Because we are skipping from one month to another, we have to take a lot of care. Now, what is that? Total 45 days from 15th of May. Number of days in month of May is 31. Out of which, if he started on 15th May, that means he went for 16 days. No, children, he did not go for 16 days. He went for 17 days because 15th was also added. Let's look in our calendar. Let's start from 15th. Let's start from 15th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17. So in the month of May, if he started going for swimming class from the date 15, and if there are 31 days in that month, he actually went for 17 days and not 16 days. Just give me a moment. So the number of days is not 16 but it is 15. Now what is happening? कभी मैम एक ऐड करने बोलती हैं, कभी एक डिलीट करने बोलती हैं. What is this? Now what is happening, children, here? As I told you, 15 is not being included. आपने 15 को रिमूव कर दिया. जब आप फॉरवर्ड काउंटिंग कर रहे हो, आप एक माइनस कर रहे हो, और जब आप नंबर ऑफ डेज निकाल रहे, मतलब आपके पास स्टार्टिंग डेट है एंड यू आर एडिंग द नंबर ऑफ डेज एंड यू आर फाइंडिंग आउट द फिनिश डेट, यू आर एडिंग 1. और जब रिवर्स प्रोसेस होगा, that is you are finding the number of days, so obviously you are going to add 1. because you have to consider the date 15th of May also. Ulta. It's the reverse of the earlier one. Earlier one may starting date plus the number of days, giving you finishing date. Now it is the number of days. Finishing date, that is 31st. So you have to subtract 1 because you have to include 15th of May also. So there was 17 days actually in the month of May that he went for swimming classes. Now 45 minus 17 gives you 28. 28 more days to go in the month of June. So he will go till 28th of June. 28 days more to go in month of June, and obviously June month has got 30 days, so 28 तक आ सकते हैं. So 28 June is the date that the person is going, Anuj is going for swimming. So his starting date was 25th of May. He went for 45 days and his last class was on 28th of June. I hope children you all understood this concept, and if you're not, you really don't have to worry so much. Don't get terrified, don't get in trouble. We are going to do lots and lots of exercises for you all to make you all understand why this -1 and why this +1. Or children, there could, if you are getting confused, every time skip that starting date. एवरी टाइम लाइक मैंने आपको बोला 11th इंक्लूड मत करो, 10 से स्टार्ट करो, तो उसी तरह से यहाँ पर भी आप 15th को मत इंक्लूड करो, 14th से स्टार्ट करो. Just let me have my pen here. So here, one second. So I could have taken this as 14, then I would have got 17. Then I would have got 17 days. So there are two ways. If you are including the date, if you are including the starting date, then you subtract 1 or add 1 depending on what the process is you are going on, or you skip the starting date and you take 1 day previous, like in this case 14, and in earlier case I had showed you 10th. Okay, but everything is happening for the starting date only. Wherever there is starting date, you have to decide whether you have to add or you have to subtract 1, depending the process that you're doing, and whether you're finding out the number of days or whether you're finding out the ending date. So here we are finding out the number of days currently in this first statement. So you have to be careful, children, accordingly. Okay. So please don't get confused, children. I'm going to take a lot many more examples here, and then you can get more thorough with the process. Okay, children, so I hope this concept was very clear. I'm stop sharing my screen as well as stop my video here. Please see it once or twice and try to understand the concept and be prepared for tomorrow's live session with your doubts, children. Thank you so much and have a good day.